course, someone whose life work so beautifully reflects the core values of service, leadership, and integrity. Our speaker this morning is Scott Hanson. He is one of those rare leaders, a proud Eagle Scout and the current executive and CEO of the Mountaineer Area Council. Scott has dedicated his career to helping young people grow into leaders by building character and is guided by the principles of the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Scott has served scouting across the country with stops in New Hampshire, Delaware, Maryland, and Nebraska before arriving here and beginning his experience in the mountain state of West Virginia. He has not only strengthened local programs, but has also led with vision and unity. Most notably, Scott provided steady and compassionate leadership through the recent consolidation of the Ohio River Valley Council with the Mountaineer Area Council, ensuring that more youth across the state of West Virginia have access to quality scouting experiences while preserving the legacy and spirit of both communities. He also played a key leadership role in one of the most significant events in scouting's global history, the 24th World Scout Jamboree hosted at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. His work helped welcome tens of thousands of scouts from around the world to our mountains, building global friendships and showcasing the absolute best of West Virginia hospitality. But even more than his professional accomplishments, Scott is a family man. He and his wife Becky are raising their 3 children in the spirit of scouting with a deep love for faith, community, and service. His life is proof that the values of scouting strives to instill aren't just for youth, but living a lifelong way of committing to community service. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce our next speaker, who is a builder of community and a tireless advocate for you, our next generation, Mr. Scott Hanson.
Good morning, Boise State. Well, I see you. So my name is Scott Hanson. I'm proud to be here. I've heard a lot about this program over the years. You guys have really a fantastic opportunity in a unique setting to learn what it is to basically run a community, which I think is pretty outstanding, pretty individual, pretty unique. So when I looked online, like anybody does, looking at what exactly is Mountaineer Boise State, it says the why, which I would equate to kind of a mission statement, is to teach good government through participation. Do you feel like you're all participating this week, learning some cool tools, things that will help you in your life? How many of you have learned something this week that you think you'll probably take for the rest of your life? Well, that's really good. That's about everybody. That's great. All right, everybody stand back up. Remain standing if you are now or ever were part of the scouting program. So now remain standing if you achieve scouting's highest rank, the Eagle Scout rank. All right, to the Eagle Scouts in the room, congratulations. So if you're not familiar with the scouting program, Scouting America is what it is now, formerly known as the Boy Scouts of America, was founded in 1910. And our mission statement is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetime by instilling in them our code of conduct, which is the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. Not very different from really what you're doing here with Boise State. You're learning to be better citizens. You're learning the values it takes to actually run a community, what that leadership responsibility looks like. Scouting does something that's very similar to that. We teach our young people to be model citizens, to be contributors to society, to have the values of leadership, character, citizenship, and fitness. Those are our 4 pillars of what scouting is. And at the end of the day, what we want our young people to do is be leaders, but lead for the best. Look out for your entire community, not just yourself. Hopefully you'll learn through your experiences here in Boise State that there's a lot that happens in a community. A lot of different aspects and facets to what happens to make our community a better place for its citizens. Scouting teaches that same model. Teaches ourselves and our young people to grow up and be contributors, to be looking out for the betterment of everyone in our society, and make the world ultimately just a better place. Who here wants the world to be a better place for you as adults? You want it to be a better place for your kids too, right? Who doesn't want that? Everyone in the community, believe it or not, has the same goal. And as you go into whatever you do in your adult life, keep that in mind. Everyone wants to succeed. Our place to be a better place. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you might be on when you think politics. It doesn't matter what your personal opinion is. At the end of the day, everyone wants the community to be better for them and be better for everybody else. The charge we always give in Scouts, and especially for the Eagle Scouts in the room, you know it, is to be a leader, lead for the best, but be an example. Be an example for others and be a role model. If there's one thing you can do, and you can learn it from the comics, with great power comes great responsibility. And you're learning some skills and unique traits here this week that are going to give you some power. They're going to give you power in the community. And the task for you is going to be to use that for the good. Use that and take that responsibility you're going to have and make our community a better place. Now, one thing I've learned in scouting has existed since 1910, so it's roughly 25 years older than this program, not that we're competing, but don't be afraid of change. As you get older, you graduate high school, maybe you go to college or you do something else, you come into that responsibility you're going to have as a citizen, as an adult. Don't be afraid of change. Scouting is one perfect example of that. For 115 years, we were the Boy Scouts of America. Until February of this year, now we are Scouting America. We're that way because now we serve all youth in all of our programs. Because at the end of the day, our mission is to make a better tomorrow. We're serving all youth to make all youth better citizens and better contributors. We had to change our model and our delivery and what our mission and what our program stood for. Think about that in the work you're going to do outside as an adult. Sometimes tradition can bring a lot of value, can bring a lot of legacy, but tradition can also be peer pressure from the dead. That may sound funny, may sound like a joke, but in many organizations that's very true. Don't do something just because it's always been done. Don't be afraid to change it up. Change it up for the better, change it for the good. There's no doubt that what you have in your home life right now is very different than what it was when Scouting was formed in 1910. Households are different. Communities and society is different. Don't be afraid to push the envelope. Make changes that are going to better everyone that's out there. The Scouting message and the Scouting program is always to prepare our people to be able to go out into the community and just have a better understanding of how the community operates. That's a lot of what you guys are doing this week. You're learning everything from from journalism to law enforcement to running the actual government, which is pretty fantastic when you think about it. You're the few youth right now of your age that are going to be in our state that are going to have an experience like this. Take it after this and know now better how our community operates. Think about ways you can better impact your community when you go home. Think about ways that you can now be a better citizen and prepare yourselves to be better citizens as adults. As we look at changes that are made, especially in our community now, you can think about, you can read the news, you can read the paper. Well, nobody reads the paper. You can look at your phone and you can see what's happening in our world, right? It's not all positive. It's just not. And when it is, and you look at the leaders we have in place in your hometowns, in your community, in our state, in the national government, or around the world, look at the way that those leaders conduct themselves and think about how you could do something different. Would you be them, or would you be different? How would you hold yourself as a leader? Remember that responsibility of being a leader, leading for the best, but also being the role model, being the one that everyone else can look up to. Are you dependable? Can you be depended upon? How many of you have younger siblings? Are you a good older sibling to your younger siblings? Are you an example for them? That's a great starting point to being a citizen. Can your younger siblings look up to you and want to be you? You be that person. This is a challenge for you. You be that person in your community. Be the person that everyone else wants to be. Be the role model that you all can be. So from the scouting side of it, we're very similar. We're trying to kind of grow a better community, a better tomorrow, by instilling positive values in you. If you haven't been in scouting, you're not too old to actually join scouting. You may be getting a little bit late now to earn the Eagle Scout rank, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. But soak up the experience you're doing here this week. I am jealous of what you get to take out of this, and I wish I had known something about this when I was your age, which was a long time ago. But if there's any message, and I'm not a Tony Caridi, I'm not your Secretary of State, who is an Eagle Scout, by the way. I know he was here earlier. You have great role models in your community. Pick the ones you like and stick by them, and be the example you can be. I know you guys are looking now at the end of the tunnel. You have a couple days left. The weather is going to be great. Hopefully you guys will spend a lot of time outside, doing great things and still continuing to learn. I'll just continue to challenge you as you leave. If you remember anything, be a leader and lead for the best. Be the Eagle Scout that really you all are, even though maybe only a few of you have actually earned that rank. Going through this program, you're getting a lot of the same traits and abilities and knowledge set. Now go out and be the leaders you can be. But thank you guys.
I think by now you guys have started to see a very consistent theme and message across the week. That what you're learning here isn't just for you. It's for you to take back to your home communities and be leaders of change where you see problems and where you see your ability to fit into society, to not only pick up the life immediately around you, but for your community as well. That is the theme of the entire week, service above self. And I think one of the most important things to remember walking away is that once we know better, we do better. And now that you know and have seen this model of good government through participation, you can go back to your high schools and do voter registration drives, register to vote yourself. So there are a lot of different ways that you can help, a lot of different ways that you can lead. Immediately after breakfast, switching gears really quickly, Scott would like to see any